And hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, perhaps, wherever you are. Welcome to another setting of A Death of the Dark Crusade. Tonight Margot she has spent a lot of time in her bathhouse since she's become Clan Primogen. This is where she has her meetings. This is where all the official stuff happens. And so once again, she's probably after another meeting with members of her clan or something. Oh, someone. She's still in her bathhouse when someone knocks at the back door, which is, people, Canaanites who have come know that her establishment looks closed. If Canaanites knock at the back door, yes, there's a way for them to come.
Thorvald had been waiting there. He'd caught the attention of another Toreador, spoken to briefly, presumably on the way out of a meeting. And after he'd spoken to this woman for a few minutes, he goes further into the bathhouse looking for Margot.
He'll be guided by. Actually, let me see if I have I don't think I put a picture of her down, but he'll be guided by a ghoul that Margot created. Let me see, just a sec. I don't have. There we go. So yeah, this woman, pretty much dressed like that too, guides Thorvald to the room he knows. He's been there a few times, where she'll open the door. Margot is while she's laying in the bath, she seems to be, the door is open, she seems to be actually walking into her bath with very thin, almost see-through silk that seems to be made for this kind of occasions. And she'll head up. Oh, Thorvald, my darling, please come in. And the ghoul will open the door, and once Thorvald is past, she'll close it.
Thorvald looked full of vitality. He for a while before he was seen, he waits for all the other Toreador to leave, and he was standing patiently waiting to see Margot. And when she invites him in, he sort of bows his head and comes in. He's wearing quite nice clothing, but not armor. Sort of formalish clothing.
She'll smile. You are dressed quite nicely tonight, Thorvald. To what do I owe the pleasure?
I went to a meeting with my sire and I had inquiries in the area about the matter of the murders, so I thought I'd stop in and see how you were on my way home.
I am doing quite fine. I seem to be able to keep myself safe. And she'll smile.
He smiles. He says, "Well, it is a matter of security that I check in on you." And he gives kind of a playful smile.
Please, if you wish, you can join me in the bath.
He nods. He'll wait for her to sort of go in first.
Yeah, she's pretty much going in as she speaks.
He'll undress and get in. He looks a little bit more not concerned, like a little bit more formal than before, I suppose, in his demeanor. So I'm making ways and going to see the sheriff at my earliest opportunity to see if I can join the effort to find out who this criminal is. I spoke with a member of your clan who seemed to doubt that I was an acquaintance of yours due to, what did she say? Dressed like that? I don't think so.
What? Who would that be?
Thor will give a description of the woman because Chris didn't give the NPC a name.
Okay.
There's no consequence to me.
Yeah, she'll smile. She'll smile. No.
I said that you seem to approve of my roguish charms.
I know she's smiling. No, I am quite different from most members of my clan. While I do appreciate beauty, and I am many clearly see why I was chosen by Toador. I do not. Once you get to know me, I do not fit the exact stereotype of a Toador. Not in the mind, anyways. Not in mentality, anyways. But that is why I think partly why I was chosen to be Primogen.
Well, yes, I understand that being Primogen requires a bracing wit and intellect, which you have in abundance.
I shall smile. The members of my clan can think what they will of me, as long as it is not that I am weak or anything that is. She'll think. Well, anything that is too negative.
I'm sure they revere you in the most highest regard.
And she'll smile as she kind of waves her hands in the water.
Thorvald's still standing in the water as if he's standing outside the water, which is sort of semi to attention. Like he just seems to sort of stand there as if he was standing outside of it. And he comes down by his side.
Okay. Well, if she's like that, yeah, she'll come and she'll go around him. So very softly, so slowly put her hands on his shoulders. Please. As she goes on the stairs, probably, because otherwise she's smaller than him. I can't do that.
Well, I don't think bath is in water because you can kind of float, depending on how deep the bath is.
But
Thorvald can probably touch the floor of the bath because he's about 6'7"
But she'll put her hands on his shoulder from behind and say, please, relax. Let yourself be submerged by the water. If that is what you wish, of course.
I found myself last time I was here being submerged quite by another presence.
And she'll smile, resting her head on the side of his shoulder. So, have you got any information on the awful murders that have been going on here?
Well, your clanmate says that they have not been attacking those of status. I questioned. First of all, she said I would look to Riverside in search of the murderer, and I said, how so? As a common man would be an opportunist thief as well as a murderer if he was in the area. As there are many golds and jewels here, which, with any sense, they wouldn't be passed up for. But she remarked that all of his victims have been poor.
that does not mean that the murderer is Paul.
No.
What are your thoughts on the matter? As she'll rise again and go back in front of him, turning her back though, but go back in front of him and kind of let herself slowly be submerged by the water.
He waits for her to come back up. He's just sort of watching her for a few minutes.
After a few,
Premature.
sorry.
He says,
sorry, go ahead.
He says premature at best. I need to try and figure out what the motive of this individual's killing is. If it's not for financial gain, is it simply the joy of the kill? Is it possible that it is a member of our own kind? Or is it a mortal who enjoys violation, both of which are possible?
And she'll nod as she turns back around to face him.
I simply don't have enough information at this stage to make and I'm no man of law, but I'm going to offer my services to the sheriff and endeavour to make dominant steps in the investigation so that it is taken control of and seen as a serious matter.
And what do your intuitions tell you?
My intuitions tell me that there's always a purpose behind a man who enjoys to kill. And with the curfew, it may be so that he or she, as women are just as capable of killing as men, as we all know, is using the cover of darkness as a playground for their desires, whether they be canine or not. And whether they be canine or not, it must be stopped, as it is adding to the extension of the curfew.
True. I cannot wait till this curfew is over.
The curfew doesn't seem to have dissuaded anyone from committing crimes. In fact, it seems to have encouraged it, because with fewer people on the streets, there is more time to carry out criminal activity without fear of being noticed, even by the city watch.
She'll just nod.
It seems that the plans to control the city have backfired, and yet those that have implemented the plans are too stubborn to realise their mistake.
She'll nod.
He takes a few steps towards her. She still got her back to him.
No, she turned around. I voted against the curfew, but they had too many voices for it. And she'll just sigh.
He reaches out and just sort of puts his hand under her chin and says, "You're a voice of reason, but some men believe they are right beyond measure in their piousness. They do not understand the darker hearts of men, and that nothing will stop those of a dark spirit from carrying out their deeds."
She'll smile at him. Indeed. Whether it is because they choose not to see it, or they simply do not see it because they have not lived dark enough moments in their lives, I do not know.
We have been blessed and cursed to have lived through dark times. I have an understanding of it. But I understand that many of your rank and class have only known lives of privilege and not been privy to darkness.
Indeed, many have. As much as what I have lived was horrible, it has made me who I am who I am now. Yes, it has made me who I am now. It has made me stronger and it has given me lessons. I shall look at him, smiling.
He's got a calm, affectionate look on his face. My offer to teach you more about the ways of combat stand.
And of that shall smile.
I believe that we can teach each other many things.
Yeah, she'll nod. Yes, we can.
Perhaps you can help me understand the ways of court and refinement so that one day I may take place in the court.
I shall nod. A sparring sounds good, actually. And she'll get out of the water slowly, as she always is. Very, her movements very calculated, very sway, very elegant. And she'll take something, and she'll dress quickly in some robes, something quickly to put back on.
Thord looks mildly disappointed, but he gets out of the water and gets dressed as well.
You don't know what will happen afterwards, but yes, she'll say, "Come," and she'll guide him to a part that's kind of outside, more outside, and there she'll call for someone to bring wooden weapons.
I see you already have the provisions, he says, with sounding slightly surprised.
My in my haven, my guards need something to train with. I simply brought some of their equipment here since you offered to help.
He takes up the wooden sword and turns it in his hand slightly.
She'll take. Hers is more of a what she has, what she normally is. So it's more of like a rapier.
Why don't you show me what you know? As I'm imagining she has points in melee.
Yes, actually, she's got quite a few actually. But she likes. She doesn't like fighting for real, but she does like sparring. So
Sparring. He will just stand there and sort of in a defensive position to allow her to show him her form.
so let's see. Dex is 5.
Because Toreador are fucking amazing
Yeah,
with melee.
Dex is 5. Her thing is with Dex Celebrity 3, and her melee is 3.
Oh my god.
So yeah, you can see it's someone that she has definitely fought before. It's not to the point of an expert, but it's not far.
I mean, Thorvald looks incredibly surprised because she's so fast. I mean, he was expecting her to be elegant, but the fact that she's so quick catches him off guard. He, well, very impressive.
I shall smile. Thank you.
I think what I will need to teach you is more physical. Hone your strength and your ability to defend. And also how to work if your opponent manages to overpower you.
So what do I do then?
If you are disarmed.
She'll smile and kind of do a motion with her hand as if something hit the sword, and as she lets go of it, there, I am disarmed. Now, what would I need to do?
Thorvald will grapple and take her down to the floor. Thorvald's got Brawl 4. he's pretty strong. You know, he's got potions too. He says what I'll be teaching as he's doing this with relative ease. He says what I'll be doing is teaching you how to break grapples and how to wriggle out of holds, because it is possible you'll be fighting other Canaanites or creatures, as we did in the sewer, who will come for you physically rather than so beautifully as you perform. I found that in combat, honor and style often go out of the window.
So how would I get out or slip out of your hold?
He will show her. He'll maneuver her hands and things to show her ways to slip under his arms. He will. It's essentially he's teaching her brawl.
Yeah.
He shows her how to avoid swings, how to counterbalance an opponent.
Okay.
Which is fairly easy. I mean, someone that's slim and quick is often very good against someone that's big and heavy. That's just the laws of combat, really.
Yeah.
But he will show her. I mean, she's not going to be as strong. Does she have potence?
She does actually.
Oh,
she doesn't have brawl, so it's like you can see she's doesn't know how to do it, but she does have strength 3 and 2 potence, so she definitely has good.
He will just train her in brawl. Then he'll train her how to use her hands if she should be disarmed, because she's got the strength there. It's just a matter of knowing how to apply the strength.
Yeah. Yeah, so she watches.
I'll spend a few hours doing that, I imagine. Thorwald explains that he was a pit fighter, and sometimes, with the luck of the pits, you ended up with no weapons at all. I would have to fight with your fists against a man who had a blade or a club.
How unfortunate. I hope that didn't happen to you too many times.
He lifts his shirt and shows you the scars.
Oh.
It did.
She'll look at it.
There's one scar that's like, a mace is pointed. It's got spikes on it. You can see that's where spikes have gone, made a sort of a slight pattern on his ribs.
She'll slightly caress the scars. Probably this one.
I survived.
As I am glad. I hope your opponent didn't.
He did not.
She'll smile and nod. Now come. We need to get clean again. And she has a smirk as she says it.
He wonders what she means for a minute, and then he looks down and realizes that they've been rolling around the dirt. This doesn't seem to bother Thorwald any, but he realizes that nobles probably wouldn't look kindly on someone that was rolled around in dirt. He sort of shrugs and follows.
As they are walking back to the to the house, to the bath, she says, "See, when it comes to matters of the court, well, you often see people yelling, talking over each other, but this is what happened when people let the emotions take over them in court. This must not happen. You must always control your emotions. Your emotions must be in control. Think of it as the beast that we have inside. If we let it control us, we are no longer in control of what we say, what we do, and we may do or say something foolish. You must also keep an eye and an ear out on what both your enemies and your allies say. Is even more. It is whether. Wait, you see, I'm not sure if the thing keep your friends close and your enemies closer was a thing back then.
It strikes me as something that is in Shakespeare, so probably not.
Okay. But she'll say,
just nods.
You must keep your eyes even closer on your enemies than you do on your friends. A good friend, you know how they think. You know what they will do. An enemy, you are much less sure of. You never know what they will do to strike at you. And if that enemy knows you, well, if you know that enemy, yes, you do know about them, and you might know what they will say, but they also know about you, and they will know what to say to anger you or to upset you. They know your weaknesses. So always keep an ear out on what your enemy says and an eye out on what they do.
He nods, listening. I think I will have to get better clothes if I'm going to appear near you at regular intervals.
Always keep a smile, because a smile can mean many things. A genuine smile is one that shows you're happy, but learn how to hide a smile that is mischievous enough, and others will not see what you're truly thinking.
I'm trained at this, but I tend to keep a straight face. A face of pensive contemplation, despite the thoughts that may be running through my head at any given moment.
That is another road that you may take.
I very much doubt with any training that I could smile as charmingly as you do.
And she'll kind of blush at that. And I'll say they get to the bath at that moment, and she'll get in again.
He does, but he sort of sits on the edge. You know, the steps that go into it. He sits on the steps, so he's sort of half in water and half. So the water comes up sort of stomach level. He just sort of sits down on the steps, spreads his arms out, just sort of seeming to sit there. as they are designed to be sat on. I enjoyed our time the other day.
As have I. As did I, shall I say. Coming closer to him.
I would hope that it would continue, though we must be careful that Madeline does not learn of it.
Of course. She does not need to know. I shall smile. And shall come closer again. Now remind me, as she puts her hands around his neck. Where were we up to? Where were we up to?
He will smile and draw her closer, and I think we can end the scene there.
And let's go. Let's go Cam Talk. Thank you, players, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for playing. For playing. Thank you, watchers, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Goodbye.